Right, so happy full moon. Obviously emotions can run high on a full moon, and this one in Pisces, on the Pisces Virgo axis, is set to be a bit of a banger, but Pisces is the sign of endings and release, but also deep empathy and mysticism. And Virgo is all about our real life, everyday things, and how to plan and logically get through our day, our critical analysis of maybe those emotions as well. So interesting times. There's a whole load else going on astrologically, but I'm not going to go into it because there's just far too many planets beefing off with each other. But there is a nice trine between, it might be a trine, healthy aspect, let's just say. I've forgotten what all of this stuff is. There's a healthy aspect between Jupiter and Venus, which is always nice. Two of my favourite planets. So these two want to come out? Oh, there's three there actually. Okay, so every reading that I've pulled for myself recently has had, just going to get it out of the way, it's had the devil in it. Just going to say it now. Dun dun dun! Drama. This guy bringing the drama with the glitter in his hair. But that's probably like the biggest of our woes on the table, which is not too shabby. Just going to move that out of the way and maybe stack some of these up so you can see. Obviously some reverse for you, but I just, it makes a little bit more sense like that. So I've pulled 12 cards. I'm doing 12 initially because Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac and it's that finalization. So our first card out is the 5 of Swords. And as you can see, this guy looks like he has a wee bit of a headache because he's getting pecked in the head by this crow. The birds on the Swords cards, they represent our sort of logical mind, and we're being troubled, we're being barraged by our own maybe confusion and lots of little things that have built up, tapping on our head. I know I've had a September just like this, like all the life admin, the jobs that are like essential jobs all seeming to come in at once, like, passport updates and back to school admin. Those of you who've got children, like, how chronic there's sudden like, oh, this club, that club, reply to this slip, do that. All this kind of stuff, and just generalized thoughts of what I should do in the real world. But in the background, look at this guy. Look at me, and there's some little cosmic magic coming out of him. We've even got some waves and a mountain at the top. He's on top of a mountain and he's not being heard calling out. And that is our soul, our heartfelt desires. And there is, a wee bit of blood there. Bleeding soul in the background, not being listened to. So this is very much Virgo, Pisces axis energy for me. Like the Virgo over-planning, criticising ourselves maybe, and micromanaging ourselves, and just things mounding up, real world things that are actually quite small things, mounding up to seem like a massive pile of things that are actually making us look away from our true happiness, our soul purpose. And I feel like that true happiness, soul purpose, our deep empathy for ourselves for our own souls is being overlooked, and I see that as more of our Pisces energy. Then we get the Four of Wands. These ladies look like they're having a party. So the Four of Wands is quite a celebrational card. It's like a double portal. Our wand suits are always creative. It's our like creative flair. So, you know, get the tambourine out like these ladies, and there is some sort of small celebratory energy going on that is creative. We've also got the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful card. In her garden, watching things grow, counting her blessings. So I feel like this is, if we can turn around and turn away from these little woes and turn back to our true soul energy, our true intentions, and, you know, find our joy again, it can really go somewhere good, and it can create some sort of growth that is going to be very fulfilling in the real world as well. We have another Diva-y card, which is the Queen of Wands. I say Diva-y, she's got all her little diva lights there. Got Diwali coming up soon. But yeah, she's a queen and she knows it, and she is, you know, lighting up the way. She's rejoicing, and again, creative energy. Another Pentacle card, very Virgoan. So that Nine of Pentacles, very Virgoan card as well. We've got a lot of fire coming up here as well, interestingly. And we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So something is brewing in your creative soul if you can look past the little troublesome difficulties and see something for what it is, and your own true potential, and stop, you know, maybe with the self-criticism and focusing on the negatives, then we can, you know, celebrate this one life, this one soul, these opportunities we have on the table that can become real life growth. And again with the Pentacles, then we have the Ace of Swords. So moving away from this troublesome sword energy, we get some mental clarity, which is beautiful. See the spiral of the mind, and getting right into the center of our, you know, past all the nonsense, and right into that pineal gland, that creative, connected part of the brain, and finding that true inner speaker soul connection of mind and body. And the Virgo Pisces axis is very much about balancing that mind body axis. Virgo can be very into like health and well-being and their physical upkeep of their body, and, you know, like your body is your temple. Often they can often be very good in medical professions and educational professions also, because of the mental mind energy and the communication aspect. But it's when that you become overloaded with too much of that mental energy that becomes a negative thing. And with Pisces, you have all of that deeply intuitive energy. And it's about integrating that into our being and being kind to ourselves, and bringing that intuitive, empathetic understanding of ourselves into union with that logical creative energy and creating a perfect balance and like a laser focused mind in a completely calm and pure way. That's our Ace of Swords. Our intention is clear. Then we get Knight of Swords. So he's on an action mission. This can be communication, direct communication, maybe an offer of something. It can be about delivering a really clear message. So once you've come into clarity of thought, you can come into clarity to communicate it, and it can actually get legs and go somewhere. And you can send this out to others, this message about, you know, what you have been trying to create and grow, about your soul intention, your soul path, and you know what you want to achieve both in your soul and in reality. So some of you may be really wanting to cut ties with an old thought process, an old way of being, an old career, an old relationship, and you can see what it is you actually want from a situation or an idyllic way that you would like things to be, or maybe you've got, you know, a dream life plan and you're about to start doing the work to create that and invest in that, and invest in yourself and get clarity, and then you can send those ideas out to the world and start telling people, you know, this is how I want it, this is how I want things to be, this is who I really am, this is how I want to live my life, make my money, go about my days, this is how I receive and give, this is my true self and what I want for that self. And then we get the Magician. We've got a lot of air sign cards. We are coming up, what are we on? The 18th. So soon we're going to tip over into Libra season, which is an air element ruled by Venus. So I've got a lot of air cards on the table. The Magician is all 4 aces. So taking all of your tools, your intuition, your intellect, your passion, your wisdom, and your sort of grounded nurture, and putting it all into practice. Just sort of, I always like the Magician card on this Light Seers deck because it has this infinity loop. So he's dredging up from the sort of cauldron of mixology and alchemy and creating this infinite loop of magic. And it's this pulling it up from the depths and sending it out into the universe, and it's cyclically flowing. It's giving and receiving. He also has the infinity symbol on his hood. So this is about creating harmony and balance by tuning into all of your skills, and you know, the masculine skills and the feminine skills, so to put it under umbrellas, so to speak, but you know, your creative intuitive skills and your logical action and thought process skills, like your real life stuff and your spiritual understanding and like core soul self, like putting that, mixing it all together and, you know, creating this harmonic kind of bubble for yourself. Then we get the Page of Cups, which is like a kind of juvenile Pisces card. It's a water card, so it's the only water card I think we've actually got on the table. And Pisces is a water sign. But this guy is like shining his heart out, and you know, his head's up in the clouds, he's looking up to the clouds, like he's literally like floating off out of himself. But we do have this little pig, like pigs might fly, but you know, it's like dare to dream. It's this daring to dream of like that, I don't know, like first love vibes, like that first time you kind of have a crush or whatever, and it's all new and it's all shiny and you have the highest of hopes for it. It might be overly idealized in some ways, but maybe, just maybe, pigs might fly, if you believe. And then we get the devil, sort of halfway through our spread. And so this is about temptation. And you can see the man that's like a puppet on a strings down here that is painted in a ghostly way, like the soul, the spirit. I mean, it's like, look into the eyes, don't look around the eyes, look into the eyes, like you're hypnotized. And this is about cutting out toxic ties. It could be habits, it could be people, it could be thought processes. It could be over-idealization of the wrong things in life and the wrong people in life. And freeing your soul. Pisces is about endings and beginnings. And those strings need to get cut. Those puppet strings need to get cut. Don't be anyone's puppet. So only you will know what it is in your life that needs cutting out so that you can proceed. And then we get the Emperor. So when the Emperor is balanced, he is a fabulous combination again of all of the suits of the arcanas, you know, the fire, the cup, the swords and the pentacle. Like your wisdom, your soul, your empathy, you know, your creativity and grounding into real life, and your, you know, investment. Like he's balanced in all of them. And so you've become masterful. He is in the upright. When out of balance, he is Aries energy, and we have quite a few kind of Aries-y type cards on here. And I think we have got some kind of astrological thing going on quite significantly with Aries, but I cannot remember it right now. So in the comments, if you know what it is. And you know, he's sat on top of Mars. He's like the ruler of Mars. He's the ruler of the god of war, essentially. But through careful planning and balance, you know, he can rule really well and really fairly. And so I think this is about getting mastery, achieving your mastery through cutting off these toxic ties, and only then can you truly come into balance. So over here, you're alchemizing this harmony coming into being. You're wishing and praying for it with your little harp. And then you need to get up the courage to actually do it, to end the endings so you can have the new beginnings and come into mastery of yourself and truly own yourself. So that no one, like I said, the puppet on the strings, but no one else is owning you. Walk your own walk, talk your own talk. Don't know where that one just came from, but felt a bit channely. Seven of Pentacles. And then we get growth. And look, him shining little magic out of his fingers onto that little tree with strong, deep roots attached to all those shiny pentacles. Pentacles represent money, but they can also just represent anything that you consider to be wealth in life. So some people consider, you know, relationships to be wealth. and you can have all different sorts of investments in people, things, places, you know. It doesn't all have to be money. But he's shining the magic in to get some new growth. And when you're onto a 7, you're getting there. You are getting there. So basically, if we can release and let go of the negatives and the worries, we are going towards some really good self-mastery. I'm going to use the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle first and see what we get, because we aren't quite out of Lammas yet. We've got fruit trees. Don't miss what is right in front of you. Everything is as it should be. So this is about gratitude. I think this kind of comes in with this being overcritical, maybe of oneself, and overthinking like the small stuff. It's like, don't sweat the small stuff and be appreciative of what you do have right now. Then we get bushes of apples. That one's really cute. Invite your truth forward and invoke the power of healing growth and true essence of who you are. So this is that, you know, self-mastery and like that opening up to the true soul self and what you really want. Then we get bird feeders. Every tiny action taken in the pursuit of growth is a powerful step in the right direction. And my goodness, did we not have so many cards of growth here? So I'm going to go for the Rooted Woman deck. I'm loving this deck. I might have to, if we get some completely, I'm quite new to this deck. So I may have to consult a book for some of them, but most of them I'm familiar with, but we'll see what we get. Because I feel like these go deep. The Kingfisher's Court. I hope I'm saying this right, it's Welsh. Ceridwen, the Initiator, I think it's Welsh anyway. Ooh, flying out. And Miss, Divine Madness. Okay, so the Kingfisher's Court. This is bountiful plentifulness. It's like the Grail. It's the kingdom that has the Holy Grail inside of it. Look at the river flowing on by and the little animals all drinking from it. So this is about the river is the source, and this is about building the kingdom of the soul. This is not about, you know, patriarchal kind of kingdoms. This is about the otherworldly kingdom of the affluence and abundance of the soul, and those that are wise enough and magical enough to know the nourishment of the land and respect it and be plentiful through the wisdom of that sort of soul nurture, to not get tied too much to the 3D accomplishments and the brick and mortar kingdom. It's about being a balanced kingdom, one that respects the balance and harmony of nature and our own self and our soul. This is, you know, our knowledge of who we truly are and being the king, queen of our higher self, and maintaining the balance and harmony of the land and our kingdom and ourself, and not falling into the kind of toxic traps of the patriarch and modern society. Then we get, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I think it's Ceridwen, which is Welsh. And she turns up, she has her little cauldron. She turns up to offer you kind of a potion of initiation, to muster up your bravery to drink the potion, to go deeper, to transcend, to, it's like a rite of passage, to be initiated into the acceptance of the soul and the knowledge of what is true to you and what is not true to you, and to be able to feed the soul of the self and honor the earth and the balance of all of those things, and be able to have the bravery to become that true self and to nurture that true self, and move into sort of the wisdom of knowing that we don't need to rely on society and the patriarchy to be blissful and achieve things. We don't need to climb social ladders. We need to nurture the soul and nurture the spirit and live in balance of our true identity, our true self. Then we get Myth, which is Mish, divine madness. She is the wild woman. She is a broken woman who has fled society and its cruelties and its hardships that have been committed upon her and her family, and the brutalities. It's about escaping and wanting to escape the brutalities of society, the crime, you know, the suffering, and seeing all of the darkness of society. And she becomes that feral animal, aggressive, attacked. She's felt attacked by society, so she wants to fight and bite back. But she does come back into society eventually after she is nurtured. They send one very, in fact this card reminds me of the person in the story that they send out to re-socialise Mish and bring her back into society, so that, you know, people can go into the mountains and feel safe and not get attacked by the beast that is Mish. But they send like a poet or a harp player or something to go and do this job, and with love and nurture and, you know, the beautiful creative things that feed the soul, he nurtures her back into society to be able to see, to be able to heal and return and live in a balanced way beyond that. So this is very much about letting go of those devilish ties to things that don't ring true, that are purely just social expectations, falsehoods that you feel you need to live up to through society's messages, maybe what a family lineage have expected of you, other people's expectations of you that aren't actually your true self or desire. That's what it's all about. And I am going to take a few from, I don't know if I'm saying this right either, but Samhain, might be Shamain. This is the next season we're coming up to. So that kind of Halloween, autumnally season. And because we've got so many air sign cards on the table, I am going to open this up. I've not used this deck yet. I've had a little look through it. But this is definitely the turn of the season coming up. We got Owl, beautiful card. It's a very Halloweeny deck, very witchy. Owl. Behold sight, O ancient ones, for there is magic in the darkest of places if one dares to open their eyes. Beautiful. I'll take another. I've got 2 or 3 here, so I'm going to take these 3 because I grabbed 3. We have the coming of winter. It comes in lullabies deep within your mirrored flesh. Alas, it is time to lay your quivering chest upon the winter's coming. So we've got some accepting of endings of seasons. So cutting things away. Pisces is a sign about endings. We've got that devil card, we need to cut free. And the Owl, behold sight, O ancient ones. This is about your inner wisdom, your soul wisdom. This is about your intuition. And going within to really do some self-exploration and open your eyes to the truth about yourself. Then we have Cauldron, Hubble Bubble. We had a nice cauldron on Credwin as well. I think I said that a bit better this time. So bewitching, yes it be, blink and you shall see, bubbling desire left in the brewing rain. That's about our true self bubbling up, what we truly want. Maybe some sort of freedom, the need to feel free of those cutting the puppet string ties. So our rising desire to be recognised for our true selves. Broom. What dreams may come from what you seek? Make room, make way. A clearing need be. Again, make space for the newness. Cutting those ties of what we don't need, cutting back the old to invite the new. And then we get candle magic. Speak your breath into its velvet. Recite along its spine all that you desire, all that which will unravel. So a little bit of manifestation maybe there, and looking toward the light from the darkness and knowing that there's a way through. So we can get too focused on the darkness of an ending, but when we focus on the light at the end and just keep going down that tunnel towards it, you know, don't get lost in the darkness. We need to go into the darkness sometimes to look at our true selves and open our eyes, like the Owl card, but don't get lost there. Keep moving forward and know that there's a way through and out. Excellent. And let's have a more joyful card. From Everyday Witch. Oh, there it is. Accept love. I think that says it all really. Be self-loving. I think that goes really nicely with the candle magic as well. And, you know, Pisces is a very deeply emotional and loving sign. And what is more of an expression of love than to really honour your true self and your true spirit and be able to walk the walk and talk the talk with truth. True self-love. Happy full moon, guys. That's what I've got.